Okay, here I am again, guys. I'm reviewing on The Lion King 1.5. Came out in 2004, the same year as the Team America World Police, Shrek 2, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, The Incredibles, Lemony Snicket, a series of unfortunate events. Accelera. Home on the Range, Accelera. So, basically what the plot is, it's not really, it's just it's this stuff that's been happening behind the Lion King. Like what things been going on when Simba and all. Which yeah. So yeah, Timon. It's a this movie tells a story about Timon. They show us what Timon has been doing whilst stuff's been happening in the Lion King, and he's a huge mess up to his to his um to his home, and he puts on a job to look out for the hyenas, and he gets everyone in danger, and he leaves the colony. He decides to leave the colony, and it and he wants and then he one day in the middle of the night he meets Pumbaa, and him they both start going out trying to find a home together, and then I mean and then um they see crazy events happen, and they try and search homes, and that's basically what the plot is. Now, guys, back then I was really dead confused when I watched this movie. Like when I first watched this movie years and years ago, I was like super confused. I was like, "What the hell?" I know. Sorry about that. Back to us then. I was so confused with what was happening, but then years later, when I rewatched this movie, I was like, "Oh, this movie's about Timon and Pumbaa. Timon trying to he told us where were they during the movie." Yeah, and yeah, and Sid Birdo didn't really have much screen time in this movie, but I know why. It's understandable, which I was okay with that. Which yeah, so yeah, and I gotta say, this movie is actually funny. I actually love this movie very much. Like, there's not one single person that I know hate this movie. They all enjoy. Like everyone who loved that I know that loves The Lion King all likes this movie. They all thought it was funny. Like if people's never watched this movie, I recommended them, and then when we watched it, they actually thought it was funny. Which, yeah, it's nice to see both of my favorite characters having their own movie together. Well, despite they have their own TV show together, which yeah, Timon and Pumbaa, the TV show. Yeah, that show is a masterpiece. I love that show very much. I will someday do a review on that. And yeah, so let's get a character. So Timon is a great character. He's played by Nathan Lane, the same guy who plays his Spot from Teacher's Pet, which Teacher's Pet's a classic. I'll review on the TV show and the movie in the future. Which, yeah, Pumbaa is still a funny character. Simba's still a great character. Now there's new characters in this. Timon's mother and his uncle Max, which yeah, they were great characters. I actually liked them. Yeah, and Rafiki had more screen time in this than the first movie, than the second movie, and then the first movie. I mean, he did have a lot of screen time in the second movie, which yeah. And no, guys, this is not Lion King 3 because you don't see because Kiara is not in this and she wasn't even born yet. All the characters that were in the second movie were not in this movie, and this is what's been happening behind the Lion King. So yeah, and Timon's mother is played by Julie Kavner. Yeah, that's right, the Julie Kavner, the woman who plays as Marge from The Simpsons. Which yeah, Julie Kavner is one of my favorite actors of all time. No one can argue with that. Which yeah, she's one of my favorite actors, Julie Kavner. So yeah, and the hyenas actually had more screen time in this. Like Shensi, Banzai, and Ed were the main villains in this. Like what? Like when Simba and Scar were fighting each other, they showed what Shensi, Banzai, and Ed did. behind that, and Timon and Pumbaa actually defeated them, and then after that they killed Scar after that, which that's what they did before they killed Scar, which anyway, so what can I say? I give this movie, I know this review's been a bit short, but I give this movie a 10 out of 10. It's an amazing, brilliant masterpiece. It's a very, very funny movie. Like, it was confusing when I was little, but I understand the plot now. Which I will buy this movie on DVD as well. I will, which I will rewatch this movie at some point as well. Which this movie is very funny. I recommend the people who's never watched this movie and who I recommend this movie. It's funny as hell. Trust me. And at the end, where Timon's mother says, "You watch a movie, I want to watch too," and they say, "We're gonna have to rewind it, Mom. Uncle Max, we're gonna watch a movie." Oh no! And then all the Disney characters all came in and started watching the movie with them. Like literally, Timon's mother just rewinds the whole entire movie, and then all the Disney characters come in and start watching it with them. So it's like that scene was funny. Come on. So I'm just pushing something. Which and all the Disney characters coming, which is seriously that was one of the most funniest things ever. Yeah. And people started doing like memes about that on YouTube, like they have like for example, they watched a whole entire movie of Space Jam, and then they rewind it and all the way to the beginning and rewatch it all. And yeah, everyone's been doing that with a lot of movies. Like they did it with Ants, A Bug's Life, Minions, Garfield the movie, Toy Story, Accelera. They've been doing that with a lot of movies. When Futurama into the Wild Green Yonder, which is actually cool. Yeah, they've been doing that with a lot of movies. With that scene, which that those those memes are funny. I actually enjoy them memes. Which So overall, I'll give this movie a 10 out of 10. It's an amazing, brilliant masterpiece. I love this movie very much. It was funny. It's it's one of those movies I go back and watch, and I will buy this movie on DVD at some point to get it with along with the second movie. Which So anyway, thank you all for watching this review. My next review is going to be the live action remake from 2019, and then after that, I'm done reviewing on the Lion King. Although I do have some reviews planned, which I'm not going to tell you. They're going to be a secret or a surprise. Which So thank you all for watching and Hakuna Matata.